What's good, y'all? We are back. We are back. We are back. Another week of SEC Live. Under 30 days until the season starts, fellas. Tegan got my right hand man over here. Sometimes not, depending on if they play Alabama or not. How we feeling, bro?
I'm not gonna lie, man. The dog days of summer are getting the best of me a little bit, but it's the days like this that you persevere and you show how good and how much work you got in your heart and your ability to keep pushing forward. Not every day is going to be the best day in the world, and that's all right. Because at the end of the day, I get to talk some football with my boy Bama.
That's right.
That's gonna be a highlight for sure.
I mean, shit, and you still got one of the best shows on TikTok right now, one of the best channels. So I mean, it's always a bright side, bro. You know?
Hey, yeah, man. Hey, it's how you respond. It ain't you always got to think of Tim Tebow bouncing back. What they lose to Mississippi State? Was that the loss they took? Or it was Ole Miss.
Mississippi.
Ole Miss. Before they had some.
I always tell people this, bro. I won't say. I mean, might as well. But bro, I went from in a span of 18 months, went from not walking for 6 months to being robbed at gunpoint. So.
How you bounce back?
1000%.
And we got football coming up. It's hard to be upset about that. Bama, did you know I'm going to be at Baylor seeing your arch nemesis go play Baylor? I'm either going to see them lose or I'm going to see them bouncing back and put a little fear in your heart. I'm so excited for week 1 to get here.
Man, that's definitely what we need. Auburn can't drop the ball. I got my cousin in my DMs. I guess breakdancing about weak ass Auburn, telling me that Cam Coleman is a better receiver than Ryan Williams and all of these hot takes. And I'm just like, okay.
Bam, I don't know. I hate to tell good people bad news. Is that ridiculous to see Cam Coleman be better than Ryan Williams by the end of the year?
Yes, it's ridiculous, bro. It's ridiculous, bro.
I mean, we could talk about it today. I know you wanted to talk some wide receivers, and I came prepared to, really get to the facts on who's going to be the best wide receiver in the SEC this year.
Mm-hmm. To me, I even told my cousin, I don't even think Cam Coleman's the best receiver on his team anymore.
Nah, you're dragging it. I like Eric Singleton. I like Eric Singleton. Here's the thing. I think Cam is the closest thing that Auburn could resemble
Jeremiah.
Oh, no. Oh. You're not gonna like this. I think Cam is probably the closest thing that Auburn's gotten compared to Bama and their in-state rival to a Julio.
Oh yeah. I mean, yeah, I can see that.
He's like it's one of those things where you saw with Peyton Thorne, he's like just scratching the surface of that raw talent of a 6'3" wide receiver that should not be moving like that. Now, if Jackson Arnold is the guy that does it, I'd be a little shocked. I've cooled off on my Auburn hype train a little bit this year. Kind of doubled down on my Oklahoma stock. But, man, what you want to talk about today?
Man, that's a lot to talk about. I mean, we could talk about, let's get it, bro. We almost close to football. Let's talk about some games, bro. How you feel about the Texas and Ohio State matchup? I feel like that's a lot of foreshadowing going on as far as I feel like those two teams probably will make the college football. It's 16 teams this year, right?
No, it's still on 12, but it's still 12. 12, but it will be a straight seeding, so you're not going to have,
Clemson and
top 4. No, you're not going to have
and Boise State getting automatic bids.
Yeah, no, you're going to. Well, you'll have Boise State getting an automatic bid because it'll still be the first 5 conference champions, but you're not going to have Clemson at the 12 or the 11 spot getting leapfrogged into, it wasn't even Clemson. You're just not going to have Arizona State get leapfrogged into the automatic bye spots. It's going to be the straight seeding. So, I forgot Boise was the one. Yeah, it's whatever it is. At the end of the day, they're going to be doing straight seeding. Let's talk about Texas Ohio State, man. This is already projected to be. I did not know this was a thing. The first 1-2 matchup from the preseason to match up week 1, first time ever. It almost feels like with a sport like college football that's been as old as it's been, that's never happened before. Just seems crazy to me. But at the end of the day, Bama, I got a lot of thoughts, but I want to hear from you first because you're Mr. Arch Manning FC. Arch Manning is the truth. Arch Manning is going to save the world. What are your thoughts on this matchup?
It's a tough matchup, man. I'm not going to go lie, man. I hate trying to bet against JJ. It's like he always make you bite the bullet every time. I do think Arch is the real deal. I think Texas has a loaded roster this year. I know a lot of people will beg to differ, but I like the roster that they maintain. They still got some solid DB play over there. Still got a decent D-line. I mean, that might be the only question, honestly. But what's my boy Hill that come off the edge? I mean, he's a part of it. I guess he would be a linebacker, but I mean, he's a pass rusher. That's, to me, in my eyes, that's a D-line.
He's gonna be like this year's Jalen Walker, that kind of tweener, IBL or ILB, but he's gonna be so athletic coming off the edge. Him and Colin Simmons better get that quick drop on your in your stance real quick.
Yeah, Jason. This is SEC football, something that KU isn't. You guys probably the bottom of the barrel coming over here,
bro.
Sorry, bro. I mean, it is what it is. This is a real football channel. Everything else is, little league, kitty league, little.
Hey, it's okay. Hey, hold on. Time out. They may not be SEC, but we still violate Missouri, which is something a Kansas fan is always going to appreciate. So at the end of the day, if you want to hate watch some Missouri, Missouri's got to shut me up before I say that they're an SEC team.
Yeah,
at least once a show.
I mean, even after the year they had last year, but I mean, they had a chance to really solidify themselves as an SEC team, and they let Connor Wigman come back fresh off an injury and put BTA. So, but back to the game, I think this is going to be. I'm gonna keep it real, bro. I don't think this game is gonna be close, bro. I think I got Texas by a long run, bro. I got Texas. I think I'm gonna go Texas. It's gonna be a few points put up. I think I'm gonna go Texas 41, Ohio State 28.
You think they're gonna go into the shoe and put up 40?
Yeah, because Arch, not Nico. Arch is different. Like I'm trying to tell people, bro. Like I guess I'm drinking the Arch Kool-Aid, but I think Arch is QB1 for sure. He might come back another year just cause, but I think he the best quarterback in the country. Honestly, I know people are gonna be like Nuss. It's a few other QBs. Drew Aller. I don't know. A lot of people. I don't see the vision with Drew Aller. But I know a lot of people say he probably would have been the first quarterback taken over Cam Ward in this past draft, and it's just like I don't see it. I don't see it, bro. Don't get me wrong, he's big, 6'5", 230, mobile, got a strong arm, but I just don't see it, bro.
Yeah, I see what you mean. I think it'll be difficult to put up 41. I will say, just to get it off to bury the lead, I am going to say Texas ends up winning this game. You could say this is just an SEC channel, so we're going to be biased towards it. Go look at the pennant right behind me. It pains me to ever root or to say Texas is going to win a football game. But truthfully, it just comes down to continuity to me. And sure, they're going to have to make the travel up to the shoe. Ohio State's going to be as comfortable as a team that has lost so much from that national championship run. Because a lot of people, I think, have the logic of the Alabamas, the Clemsons from the 2010s that just they earned that blind faith of it really didn't matter how much talent left for the NFL to go play on Sundays, that these rosters and these teams were just going to be able to bounce right back and get back to national title contention. And I'm not saying Ohio State's going to be bad this year. I think Ohio State's going to be pretty damn good, obviously probably elite.
They have the best. Only loss for real.
Yeah, and they have the best player on offense. They got the best player on defense. That's the bulletin board. That's the poster. That's easy to sell. But if you take it down another level, You're replacing an offensive and a defensive coordinator, multiple players in the front seven from the edge to the linebacker to the defensive line. You're replacing corners. You're replacing a wide receiver, Emeka Egbuka, the leading Ohio State wide receiver. That probably won't be a weakness for the team because Carnell Tate and Jeremiah Smith are very damn good players. 2 running backs, a quarterback, a bunch of offensive linemen. So you're losing the brain trust. You're losing the veteran talent because when you pull up the Texas-Ohio State game, one of the first things and one of the first graphics they pull up is the fact that it's seniors just littered on that defense. And that veteran leadership is something that cannot be overstated, especially when you're playing a offense like Steve Sarkisian that is going to be asking so much in terms of your communication. Bama, I think you can preach this the most. When you are going up against an offense that has so much motion, what's the number one thing on the defensive side of the ball that you have to do in order to stop that type of offense?
Pressure. You got to get as much pressure as you possibly can.
Pressure and communication, knowing your assignment. And the thing is when you have a young defense that, sure, you're going to be at home, you're going to be in your locker room, you're going to be feeling comfortable, but you're going against a quarterback that, yes, has not played a lot of football, but he has been a part of this system for 3 seasons. And there is a lot to like with this offense. I do think it's going to be a little bit lower scoring. I think it's going to be a match of 1st to 20 because you're going to have a lot of new on both sides of the ball. I got 24 to 17. I'm being simple with it. It's always the gut check to stay in that 17 to 24 range. But I do think Texas comes out on top. Did you know that Texas is actually 3.5-point underdogs going into this matchup?
Yeah, because it's at home. A lot of people like Ohio State. A lot of people like their defense. What's my boy? His name drawing a blank because I'm not a Big Ten guy, but number 6, Sawyer. He gets a lot of hype. Jack Sawyer, which he is good. And then, like I said, you got him at home. But my question to you, Tegan, though, hypothetically, if they do lose to Ohio State, how do you feel about Texas now? Because they still got to go down to Georgia. Well, down. No, they got to go.
They have to play in Athens.
And they got to go to Gainesville, which, like I said, a lot of people has Florida ranked very high. So I want to know how you would feel about if they lose that first game. Now they got 3 cupcakes in between Florida.
Yeah, of course. They have some severe spots. I'll be biased when I say this. A&M is going to be a spot that I think is going to be a very tough. If the things that you're talking about where maybe they do lose week 1 and that interior defensive line doesn't improve, A&M is going to be a team that's going to be a very tough matchup. I think Oklahoma and Red River, you really never know what from that game. Every time you think you know what's going to happen, outside of last year when 6 wide receivers and a backup quarterback was playing for Oklahoma, you really never know what you're going to get from that game. You got the Athens game. Florida should be really good as long as DJ Lagway continues to be healthy. I would caution overreacting to it. It would depend on if they had lost and the offense looks putrid against a new defense with a new defensive coordinator or a familiar face with Matt Patricia. I would get concerned then. But if it was a shootout, both defenses do not look great. Arch moves well, and it ends up becoming a game where you look back and maybe 1 to 2 plays don't go their way. I could hold my head up high for a couple reasons. The first one being the offense looks good. So the big question mark with your quarterback isn't the problem. And then B, non-conference losses don't hit as hard. If you go look back, A&M lost to Notre Dame week 1. There were some really bad non-conference losses across the board. And then you get to the end of the season, and you realize, it was the conference losses that really dictate how the season goes. But I do think they end up walking a much tighter rope for the rest of the year. And I could see them losing up to 3 at that point if they do lose to Ohio State. I am very confident, though. Like that is going to be – we don't do best bets. There's no gambling advice on this channel. But I would lean very heavily to Texas at least covering, and if anything, probably winning that football game.
Yeah, absolutely. But if they do lose, I don't like at Florida. I don't like the Red River rivalry because it's a rivalry game. And the rivalry games are pretty much toss ups. I really don't like at Georgia. Granted, again, I think Arch is different than Quinn. Quinn kind of held them back in a sense, but at the same time, I don't think they really fully called plays that Quinn. Because the thing with college football is they call whatever best plays they like. Like no player is above the system, right? Versus in the NFL, they call plays based on the quarterback they have. Like they fit the offense to the quarterback. So I could just say I don't think Quinn really fit in that type of system they had him running. It's more of a fit for Arch. That's why when Arch used to come in relief, it just felt it felt like it fit the best. Like that was the best fit. So I don't think they lose. But that's how I feel about that. We could move on because somebody just dropped it in the chat. I got Alabama versus Florida State, man. That's gonna be a fun week of football coming up, bro. Like, I'm excited about this week of football, bro. Like, I'm smiling ear to ear right now. We almost there, bro. Like I said, 26 days, Jam Miller days away until you get to see the best team in college football. They got us ranked number 8, going against Florida State. And what's crazy, they're giving us extra ammo. Quarterback come out saying that they don't have Nick Saban and this ain't the old Alabama and all of this other type of hoopla. And to me, I just feel like you don't want to give a team like Alabama fuel. Like if you got a chance to beat them, go in and beat them, but you don't want a team like that playing to their max potential with a chip on their shoulder. It's not going to go over well for you. We got a revamped secondary. Our receiver room is revamped with Isaiah Horton and Jalen Mbakwe, which is I feel pretty good about him. I'm pretty happy about him because he found a niche for himself in Alabama. You remember he was about to transfer to Texas A&M, but his best friend Ryan convinced him to come over to the receiver side, and he's actually been making a lot of plays, turning heads over there. Very fast kid. So I'm happy about Mbakwe's development. But the one thing I'm ready to see is that secondary, bro. That secondary is something serious. Headline, Keon Saab, Bray Hubbard. You know, you got our 2 corners, Xavier Brown coming back. He was snubbed from freshman All-American honors. Then you got Damani Jackson. But my favorite dude, I don't know if y'all can see this name right here, Dijon Lee FC. 6'4", 6'5" corner, press man, unreal, crazy range, great footwork. I'm ready to really see what he does on the field. Looks like the old Alabama defenses where they get these extra large players to make the field small as possible. So I'm really happy to see this, bro. I feel like we got a team that's pretty versatile for whatever opponent we go against throughout the whole season. Because I don't think people understand how much of a headache Jeremiah Smith is. So I feel like we really have a secondary to combat playing against receivers like him, Cam Coleman, all those different type of big receivers that can make plays vertically down the field that are pretty much nightmare matchups. I feel like we got a secondary that can combat that this year. LT Overton, Quay Russaw. We even got a freshman, bro, Tank Hill, bro. Our D line is going to be something magical. And then of course we got our ultimate signal caller, Deontay Lawson, back from his injury. I'm really really see these guys, dog. Like honestly, I cannot wait to see these dudes in action and what they do. Hopefully everything meshes well together. I'm really bought into what Debo has over there at Alabama. He kept a lot of talent in there while bringing a lot of talent in. That means that the kids are even bought into what he's selling. We had no guys that left through the transfer portal this year, besides Caleb Odoms, but I mean, he's not even playing at Ole Miss, so it's like, whatever. I don't even know what you left Alabama for anyway. But, you know, it is what it is. But like I said, I feel like everybody's bought in over there because, like I said, Texas A&M threw a lot of money at Ryan and Bakwe. So for them guys to really stay after the season we had last year, we lost to Vandy. We lost to Vandy and Michigan. Michigan without a quarterback. Not no slight at Michigan. Granted, they had a good defense, but they had no quarterback. And the game was 13-16 or something like that, 13-19. So for those guys to still go through that and choose to come back, I think DeBoer is over there cooking something. We are actually officially in the Debo era. Because I always say you got to give a coach at least a year to get his recruits up in there, the type of guys he like, the type of guys that fit his system, and then we get to really reassess what type of coach he really is. I think Ty, he's a plus 1,400 favorite to win the Heisman. That's pretty good odds if you ask me, especially for first year or what would you call that? Yeah, first year quarterback.
First year starter.
First year starter, yeah, especially for a first year starter. I think a lot of his hype is warranted. He looked very good at the Peyton Manning camp. He's been doing all the right things. Ryan Grubbs and Kalen DeBoer both said the reason why he beat out Keelan Russell and Austin Mack is because he commanded the offense, how they wanted a quarterback to command the offense. So I feel like he's comfortable with those guys right there. I'm ready to really see him spin the ball. Because he got his buddy over there, Isaiah Horton, another weapon to keep him comfortable. Jeremy Bernard, bro. Like, I'm trying to tell you, like, this looks like I'm not gonna go as far as the ride outs, but I feel like if the ride outs was here with Devontae Smith, Jerry Jeudy, Jalen Waddle, Henry Ruggs, these guys we got right here, Horton, Bernard, Ryan Williams, and Bakwe, they like right there, bro. I'm not gonna go too crazy and put them up there with the ride outs, but they hovering right up under there, bro. So I'm kind of ultra excited to see them play Jam Miller. That dude's the real deal. As well as AK Deer and a few other guys coming from the relief. So Bama gonna shock some people this year. I really only see us losing 1 to 2 games, honestly. And this not one of them. I think we're gonna blow them out the waters.
Hey, and it doesn't help what Castellano said. Let me play devil's advocate because there's nothing that I'm going to be able to say about Alabama that's going to be not what was just covered. You know the offensive coordinator for Florida State?
Mm-mm. Can I look this up?
You'll know him.
Yeah.
Mr. Gus Malzahn. You know that name all too well.
Yeah.
But outside of some voodoo magic and the ghost of Jordan Hare and Gus Malzahn, I'll say this. Castellanos is going to have his moments. I watched a lot of tape on him because truly it was a blind spot for me. I mean, we're talking about a 5'9" quarterback who doesn't have this crazy, massive arm. He's got arm talent. He can get the ball out in certain slots, which could cause problems, could be interesting. Gus is going to want to involve his quarterback. They're going to throw a lot of creative things. They're going to be at home. There's going to be, what they need to win this game. If I'm a Florida State fan somehow working around here, truthfully, I don't see you guys winning this game. I honestly think minus 13.5 is pretty safe because of a lot of the overwhelming talent. I do think this is going to be the, Kalen DeBoer stamp to what's going to be a very good season. But in this hypothetical world, the path to an upset would be controlling the ball, maybe the front seven. Like, I don't think you're going to be able to pass consistently against that secondary. Bama, you make a very good point. Like, your secondary is going to be a problem all season. You just got to test that front seven, and you got to get creative. You got to basically look at what they did with Vanderbilt and a lot of those option stuff, which I'm sure Kalen DeBoer went into this offseason and put a big old red marker and said, we are going to learn how to stop the option offense.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that. That's just what your eyes and what you're seeing is going to be disciplined. And you're not going to let these 3-4 yard exchanges happen. I think, unfortunate as it is for Florida State, they A, asked for it, and B, are basically going against a defense that is going to run an offense that they have gotten gashed before, and I'm sure has been one of the biggest priorities going into the offseason. I feel bad for Florida State because I don't see this game being close outside of the first 2 quarters, maybe.
I'm gonna just keep it real with y'all, man. If you think Kane Womack, Freddie Roach, and Maurice Linguist didn't sit down with Nick Saban all summer to come up with some type of game plan to either slow down that triple option or neutralize it, especially with a. That's why I say the first games of the season are almost like a national championship in the sense of the preparation time you get for those first games of the season. That's why I feel like it was just crazy you gave them extra motivation, especially saying that at media day, because now we really get to go out and practice and put your face on dummies while we tackling and all this other stuff. Like, I know for a fact that Kane Womack is sitting down and making sure, over analyzing, crossing all the T's, dotting all the I's to make sure that they shut down that triple option, that shotgun triple option. I ain't gonna say fully shut down because it's hard to shut it down, but the only reason it's really hard to shut it down is you only have a week to prepare for it. Like, that's what makes it like playing a Vanderbilt very tough, because you only get a week to prepare for it, right? And on Trent's show, had the opportunity to interview Evan Ingram, and Evan Ingram even said, like, a lot of teams in the SEC, they don't even practice for the team that they're playing. Like, for instance, say you got one team the week before, and then you got Alabama the week after. Unless it's like a key matchup, like you playing like a Georgia, somebody like that, a top key matchup opponent, they're practicing for Alabama. Like, so they spend 2 weeks practicing for Alabama, while Alabama they do it on a game-to-game basis because they playing for a lot more, I feel like, than the average teams they go against. So, of course, they worry about opponent week-to-week basis. But a lot of teams, that's not the case with a lot of teams. They practice for Alabama 2 weeks in advance. And going against that, going on the road, having to go against those teams. Now we fast forward to the first game of the season. I feel like Alabama has a lot of preparation for what Gus Malzahn is going to try to present. I could be wrong. Maybe Florida State do make it a closer game than 13.5 points. You know what I mean? It is, at the end of the day, it is football. It is college football. We done seen the wackier things happen. I think if you would have told any Alabama fan when they played Vanderbilt last year, if you would have told any Alabama fan at the beginning of the last season, oh, man, we're going to lose to Vanderbilt, they would have called you everything but a child of God. They literally would have called you everything but a child of God. But I think this year is different, bro. I think Debo is really cooking something. I think this is where he branches away from being up under Nick Saban, because the whole stigma was, oh, this is a Saban team. Saban left you with the keys, all of that. You see the kids having fun. You see them making TikToks. You see them having Redneck Willie. They're having a Redneck Willie over there, Drewski, all of these guys. It's a different day and age at Alabama, and I kind of like it. I kind of like what Debo's doing. He's spending money to get these boys over there. I like it, dog. I'm not mad at it. He's addressing all the needs that we need, and I don't know. Debo's a winner. He is. Like, the dude has one of the better records of current college football coaches right now. I think he's like 18 and 16, something like that. He's been winning, bro. So I like Debo a lot, but again, we're gonna have to see. I'm Ron FC, Dijon Lee FC, and we'll have to see, because Bama gonna blitz, Bama blitz, man. It's gonna look nice. Tim Keenan in the middle. I think he's gonna be one of our better on the other end. He's like the next one up. He's one of them D tackles we got right there. I'm ready to see Tim Keenan as well. Quay Russaw. A lot of people in T-Town been talking about him. They clocked him at like 20 miles an hour, 21 miles an hour. I don't know if you guys saw what Quay Russaw looks like, but a dude that size being clocked at 21 miles an hour is insane. I don't think quarterbacks are really going to like that when he hits them in that pocket. I'm really ready to see that. I don't think people understand like what that is. 21 miles an hour for a dude that size. It's ridiculous, bro.
All right. Hey man, it's your team, Bama. I'm gonna let you cook on there, but we got other matchups to talk about.
Yeah.
What you got for me?
How we feel about, Florida, Georgia, bro? Talk to me right there.
Yeah, we're gonna work off of DJ Lagway being healthy. Obviously, he made his first passes in fall camp. Listen, this is selfish. I was so mad at myself I was like, I'm not going to talk about it. I don't think it's a story. I think him being in a boot, he's going to be fine. And then I'm watching all these videos talking about how, I think I'm getting concerned at this point. I start looking at the timelines. I do all this work for a video. If you go follow my TikTok, you'll know. And I go and post this video in the same day, not even like an hour after I posted. DJ Lagway is throwing at fall camp without a boot. He's completely fine. And I'm sitting there going, you got to be kidding me. I did all that prep work to go research into the injury history, make a video, and he's fine. And that's for the best because I'm so happy that he's going to be healthy this year. And I think they could beat Georgia. Like the thing is you look at Georgia's schedule and Bama. I know you had Georgia, 9? Yeah, I'm around 9.
Yep.
You start looking and you're like, man, if you like Auburn, they're in a tough spot against Auburn. What's projected to be a night game. Auburn's coming off of a bye. What I'm trying not to fall into the trap of with Georgia is like, the last thing you ate in a meal. Like I saw Florida look like a top 15 team in the nation last year. And Georgia was spotty against a ton of teams last year. Georgia Tech took 80 billion overtimes. Florida was giving them problems. Alabama gave them problems and clawed their way back. Like there's a bunch of different spots where Georgia was not looking clean. But I don't want to fall. Like I have these two pictures and it's like, oh, Florida is going to win that game. I'm curious now that Kirby knows it's going to be DJ Lagway and he's going to have tape on him, what Kirby's going to cook up. Because everyone and their mother is going to be like, yeah, Florida's going to get their back on Georgia. But what if they don't? What if they have wide receivers that can actually catch the football? What if they have a quarterback that can give a little bit more with his legs and it's not the full identity of the team? I like Georgia. It's one of those things where my gut is telling me one thing, but my heart's telling me one thing, but I got to go with my gut. My gut is telling me Georgia. What about you, Bama? What are you thinking?
I'm going to go with Florida. Neutral site game. It's in Jacksonville, so I really be like, is that really a neutral site game? Like, you know what I mean? Like, Gainesville to Jacksonville really isn't that far, bro. Like, but I think I'm going to go just so I can keep my rankings alive. I gotta go against it. I gotta go Florida. I think Florida's gonna.
With how you talk about Georgia, you think Florida might put belt?
I ain't gonna say they're gonna put belt because you make up a valid point. It is a Kirby smart coach team. It ain't too many times they really got belt put to them besides playing Alabama. I'll go Florida. By 3. I think Florida by 3, bro. Honestly, late in-game field goal. They win, rush the field. And I'll probably say the score probably be like 24-21. 24-21. I'm not buying I'm not sold on Gunnar Stockton. I'm sorry, bro. I'm not sold on him at all.
Well, Bama, last matchup I want to talk about is actually the game I'm going to. It's Auburn at Baylor. Give me your thoughts on this.
I feel like Auburn better win.
Or what?
I don't want to hear it. If Auburn don't win, I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear no Cam Coleman talks.
You don't even think Baylor's that good for real, the way you're talking about it right now.
Yeah. I don't want to hear no. I don't want to hear no Cam Coleman talks. I don't want to hear no nothing. We gonna beat Alabama event. I don't want to hear none of that shit. If you can't go out here and beat Baylor, after all the stuff they've been talking, they got the second best receiver in the SEC. They got the second and the fourth best, or the seventh best, something like that. The second and the seventh best receiver in the SEC. If you can't do nothing with that, there's no more excuses. And that's the thing with Auburn fans. When they do lose, they always come up with these creative excuses of why they lost. And that shit is trash. I get tired of hearing it. Same old story every year. Oh, we would have won, but this. If we would have had this or that. X, Y, and Z. Wah, 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 wah. You coming up on 15 years since you made a playoff or college football national championship appearance. I'm tired of hearing it, bro. At some point, Auburn needs to get on their shit and stop predicating a whole season around beating Alabama. That shit is getting corny at this point. Like, that's all they really care about is beating Alabama. Oh, I'm going to just beat Alabama. Well, what about the rest of your schedule? You play 11 other teams besides Alabama. You don't want to beat them. You sit up there and choke. You let Cal come over 2,500 miles from Berkeley all the way down to Jordan-Hare, and they beat you in your own backyard. That's sad, bro. It's not even crazy. It's just sad, bro. I'm not even going to say crazy. It's sad, bro. That's another team that blew a 28-point lead in the fourth quarter to Miami, which is crazy. The thing, Tegan, I'm not even trying to get off too far on a tangent, but I literally went to sleep on that Miami and Cal game, right? It was the fourth quarter. I went to sleep, and guess what woke me up? I'm hearing the announcer scream, hey, Miami's coming back. Like, Miami's pulled off. Like, I said, what? I was like, no way. Because, I just see Cam over there dapping everybody up. I said, hold on, wait, what just happened? Because
Superman just came out.
10 minutes left in the game, bro. And they was down 28, bro. And they literally. So they lost.
I turned the game off A&M versus LSU. When Kellen Mond threw that pick, I turned the game off, and then I'm literally going to bed. And while my buddies, I go check on the game, and I see OT, and I'm like, what happened? It was first overtime, so luckily I didn't miss nothing. I rewind, and that's when, that was the second game. The first game didn't even happen. It was just, now we're going through 7 overtimes in one of the most stressful games I've ever watched.
I'm not really a Texas A&M fan, but I will say this, man. I feel like Kellen Mond deserved better, bro. He deserved a way better team than what he had, bro. And
he deserves a better fan base. He
was a good quarterback to me. Great quarterback, honestly.
The way that A&M fans, it's kind of like, this is the softest way I can say it, and most PC way I could try to say it. You know how there's those Baltimore fans that likes to say, there's just something about Joe Flacco that I miss. Lamar Jackson's good, but he's no Joe Flacco. There's something I trust about Joe Flacco. Like those types of fans. Kellen Mond kind of got that treatment where Kellen Mond was better than Ryan Tannehill, Trevor Knight, not to give you PTSD of Trevor Knight. They're like, yeah, Kellen Mond's fine, but he's not this, that, and third. I loved Kellen. And I really do think he was one of the better quarterbacks. I mean, he got us to the highest peak since Manziel, and people really don't acknowledge that. So I'll say this to bring us back to the original topic. I think Auburn and Baylor, I feel like the national media is going to say that this is a high-scoring game. They're going to see, Cam Coleman, Eric Singleton. They're going to see Baylor with Sawyer Robertson. They're going to promote it. They're going to want it to be this big, mind you, Friday night game. Dude, I think this game's going to be ugly. You know Dave Aranda?
Mm-hmm.
And I know that if I'm being told in camp that they're having to soften Auburn's defense, so Jackson Arnold's confidence is going to have to get back up, Dave Aranda, that's like blood in the water for a shark.
Right.
I think they're going to cause problems. It's going to be a road game. It's going to be a Friday night game. Like you're either watching this game or you're watching Colorado and Georgia Tech. And yeah, a lot of people are going to watch Prime and everything and all this stuff. I guarantee you most eyes are going to be on this game. Because I think this game has way more playoff implications.
Yeah, I think a lot of reasons people want to watch that Colorado game is to see what it's going to look like post Shador and Travis. But you're right. This is going to be a good game. All my Southern people, it just really depends. I think if you live on the West Coast, you'll be watching Colorado and who you just said they was playing, bro? I'm drawing a blank right now. But anyway, Georgia Tech. I think if you're a Southern person and you're from Atlanta, you're probably watching Georgia Tech, Colorado. But I think if you're an SEC fan, we all got our eyes tuned in to see what Auburn's going to be doing against Baylor. Hopefully, they get the job done. If they do get the job done, I'm pretty sure my DMs will be filled with all of this Auburn narrative rhetoric, which I don't really care too much to hear. Like, dude, it's been 15 years, bro. Like, get a grip of yourself. Like, your best quarterback that ever came through the school really wasn't your quarterback. Like, Cam Newton could have won that national championship anywhere. He just chose to come to Auburn for that year. So I don't even really get him credit for Cam Newton. I just can't stand Auburn, bro. Like, it's just, I don't like them. It's just annoying. They give me the same itch in my ass that Tennessee does, and I don't like that. So they need to figure it out. Last, 19 minutes, 20 minutes. I want to go through this list of SEC receivers, top 10 receivers.
You beat me to it.
Yeah. I mean, this is good. I don't know which list do you have. You can go on your list, and I'll go on my list.
Do you have your top 10, or are we talking about someone else's list?
Well, this was someone else's list I saw.
Yeah, let's do that because I can't do it off the top of my head right now.
But at 10, they got Berrien Brown at LSU. 9, they got Caden Lee from Ole Miss.
Okay.
10, they got Eugene Wilson from Florida.
I mean, 8 or 10?
8. Yes. So 10, Berrien Brown. 9, Caden Lee. 8, Eugene Wilson. 7, Eric Singleton. 6, Jeremy Bernard. 5, Kevin Coleman from Missouri. 8, Aaron Anderson, LSU again. 3, Ryan Wingo. 2, Cam Coleman. And 1, you already know, mama, there goes that man. The deuce is loose. Ron Hollywood Williams.
Kevin Coleman's high on that list. Not Cam, Kevin.
Yeah, Kevin. I feel like Concepcion should have been on this list.
Yeah,
I'm saying that because you my co-host.
No. But
honestly,
he should.
Like he was nice from Louisville.
It's one of those things where I would have a back end. Like Berrien Brown, I think is a lot of people are going to see the college football 25, like 99 speed, and think he's just Tyreek Hill. He was definitely more of a special teamer for Kentucky, and he's a dynamic player. Aaron Anderson is quite high, I would say. Like, I don't know. There's a lot of guys on there. I think the SEC is very talented at wide receiver. I think Jeremy Bernard is going to be a very high ceiling play or high floor player. You know what you're getting from him. Caden Lee, a lot of people have been hyping up. I think that's warranted. I think one Ole Miss wide receiver is going to be producing at a very high level. Now, here's the take. Is it ridiculous by the end of the season? I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not going to predict it because I'm very high on Ryan Williams. I think he's incredible. But could we even go as far to say that there's going to be a conversation that Ryan Wingo could be the best wide receiver in the SEC? You got to hear me out.
I mean, I'm hearing you out because he has the best quarterback. So the correlation is not ridiculous.
I'm just saying as a wide receiver, I think one of the things that people have forgotten, if you follow recruiting, it was Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams, and that's what people remember from last year. But when you were in recruiting, it was Ryan Williams, Jeremiah Smith, and Ryan Wingo. But Wingo got buried on the depth chart and had some moments, some flashes. DeAndre Moore is going to be another wide receiver. I think he's just scratching the surface.
Absolutely.
Now, I think Cam Coleman, if I were to make a prediction, is going to be the best wide receiver in the SEC because I think he's got a higher ceiling than Ryan Williams. But Ryan Williams is a different archetype. It's the very same thing that we talked about with like Jeremiah Smith and him. Like you're comparing apples to oranges. They're both fruits, but they're going to be completely different kind of skill sets. I will say we could run into that same issue within his own conference with Cam Coleman because he's 6'3". He's got the speed. He's got incredible touch with his hands. His ability to basically, head top anybody. In his routes, there's flashes and there's these moments. People want to point to the fact that he didn't put up these gaudy stats, but I don't think Julio Jones would put up gaudy stats with Peyton Thorne as his quarterback. This is not to try to push Ryan Williams down. I think that when we get to the end of the season, it wouldn't shock me if these guys are like just at eye level with a talent like Ryan. You can't look at me like that.
He did have some questionable drops. But I mean, I get it. The quarterback play really wasn't consistent enough for us with the mental of the quarterback, which I'm not really mad at it. It's just a lot of talent, man, in the SEC at receiver this year. Just looking at the list, I mean, I looked at another list too right here where they got Aaron Anderson, and Nick Anderson. So it's like LSU got a lot of weapons over there. You still see Caden Lee, Ryan Wingo. So I'm not mad at the Ryan Wingo take. I'm just really, honestly, what it's going to boil down to quarterback play. I think, like you said, if they got to pull back punches on the quarterback to build his confidence, like, you might have to get ready to insert Deuce Knight here soon. I'm not gonna lie, you could probably have to.
Do you think Deuce Knight will start by the end of the year?
I think he's gonna start by the beginning of the year. If what you're saying is like fully true, like because a lot of times they make up this crap in practice, and it probably was like a light day in practice. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people can spin the narratives how they want to. Like, if you just out there at practice,
it's nasty in the SEC.
Is crazy. You know what I mean? Because I know some days they just don't always let you tee off on the quarterback. You know what I mean? And that just might be one of those days where coach was like, hey, don't hit the quarterback. You know what I mean? Like, let him throw the ball. We're trying to get reads here, and then, a reporter or somebody from the media can hear that and be like, oh yeah, they was telling them to pull punches so the quarterback can get his confidence. And no, that was nothing far. That was so far from the truth. Like, it just could have been literally, coach was like, get off the quarterback so we can get a read. Because sometimes the defense I feel like for me, the defense gels a lot quicker than the offense when it comes to, getting to the season. I feel like the defense, they gel a lot quicker. So it just could have been one of those situations of, dude, we just trying to see how this play works right here. And y'all just blowing it up every time because you know what play it is. You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
So it could have been one of those instances where it was just like, let us get a read, don't tackle him. Or it just could have been a light day of practice. Like, you don't always hit every day in practice. You know what I mean? Like, leading up, we probably get, because like I said, we less than 3 weeks away. So it's like they trying to probably get everybody back healthy or something. You probably could have been banged up. Yeah, it's so many variables of why that could be the reason why versus somebody just saying he needs confidence. You feel me? Now, I will say this. If it is that, though, Deuce Knight will be starting before like week 3, week 4. Because if they're playing to win games, this is Auburn we talking about. Auburn don't care about winning games. All they care about is beating Alabama. They'll probably let Jackson Arnold play until Alabama. Like, this is Auburn we talking about.
And then all of a sudden you got this 6'4" freshman with a big cannon arm that all of a sudden can move crazy, and all of a sudden the offense look crazy, and they choose the Super Bowl to lock in.
My point exactly. Just to upset Alabama.
Speaking of the Iron Bowl, Ben, I got a question for you, Ben. This will probably get us to the end of the show today. I saw a take on Twitter. I guess there's been a lot of talk about Michigan and Ohio State being a better rivalry than the Iron Bowl. But then someone made a post in a comment that the Iron Bowl has had more iconic moments over the past 20 years than the game. What are your thoughts?
I agree, because when I saw Michigan and Ohio State over us, I was just like, I get it, bro. Y'all got a lot of history, Charles Woodson and them. It's like, save me on that shit, bro. Like, as I can remember of recent, bro, like the Iron Bowl has been the game. What was that? Kick six, Alabama was ranked number 1, and Auburn was ranked like 2, right? Like if I'm not mistaken, it was like a 1 and 2 matchup. The 4th and 31, like
that dude,
ridiculous.
The one time you like Jalen Milroe,
the one time, but literally the play before that, oh my gosh, when he tried to pass the ball 15 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, I almost, bro, I was about to fucking freak out, bro. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna let y'all know that 4th and 31 shit, I didn't even see it because I turned the TV off after he had threw that illegal forward pass. I'm not even gonna lie to you, bro. Like, I got so fucking pissed off at that, bro, because I just thought the game was over, bro. Like, I just knew it was over. And then I look on ESPN. We had one, bro. I'm just keeping it real with y'all right now, bro. We listen, we don't judge. I'm going to keep it real. Literally, the play before Milroe tried to throw the ball 10 yards in front of the line of scrimmage, I turned that shit off. I was like, bro, he fucking sucks, bro. Like, he just never ceases to amaze me how garbage he can be on a week-to-week basis. It's like he just keeps getting worse and worse, And then he pulled it out his ass. The one I can remember for me was with Bryce. Bryce pulled, it was his Heisman moment right there. That was when he won the Heisman, bro. Because you remember J-Mo got kicked out of that game for the head-to-head contact on punt, because Alabama, they don't have a punt team. They use all their starters on punt and kickoff and stuff like that, which is crazy to think about. Nick Saban don't care. He's like, So but yeah, we lost J-Mo, and what I can remember is Bryce really pulling a vintage Bryce, breaks a tackle, does that little thing like he about to run with the ball, and then he throws it. And I'm talking about he put that bitch on the money to Ja'Cory Harris in the corner. And all you can hear is just him screaming, "This my shit. This is my shit." That was amazing, bro. That was amazing, bro. I love Bryce, bro. Like, Bryce was amazing, bro.
That fourth quarter drive was incredible.
That was incredible, bro. Bryce really let his nuts hang.
Yeah, especially knowing how much you hated Bill O'Brien. We don't gotta get you started. Just like we don't gotta get you started. I don't think we gotta force the last 7 minutes. We got, once the season starts, Bama, we maybe ended up going for a couple hours.
Yeah, I'm ready for it too, dude. I'm really tired of these trying to pull topics out your ass. Honestly, though, y'all need to help us, man. Drop some topics.
Hey, I see the viewers getting up every episode.
Exactly.
And we got Antoine in here.
If y'all see this, drop some topics for next week in the comment section.
Or questions. Literally anything.
Anything. What y'all want us to talk about, what y'all want us to explore, hot takes, anything, man. Give us something to get us past these next 26 days, man. These 26 days of nothing. Because right now it's just all what ifs and narrative talk. And who likes that, man?
Yeah. All right, man. I'm ready if you are.
All right, y'all. Until we meet again. Peace.
Peace.